Hello, everyone. It's Sylvia and Philippa. Today, we will talk about this beautiful jacket you can see and how we can fit it to be a jacket useful for someone who is riding a motorbike. This was a request from Philippa because she has this kind of gigs as a freelancer. So what we did here at the first thing is to import this avatar. It's a scanned human body, and you will see now the video to see how it was scanned and how it was imported into CLO3D. And then we imported also this helmet, which we tried to fit the hoodie on. As you can see, it doesn't work in this way, but at the end of this tutorial, it will. And I will show you also here now the video, how you can find the helmet and how you can import it into CLO3D, and which are the most important things you have to look for when you are importing external mesh into CLO3D. We need to find today a helmet, like a motorbike helmet. And of course, nobody pretends that now we start to model our 3D object. So there is a lot of services and websites where you can find 3D meshes, often even for free. And this is what we found for today. We found it in TurboSquid, but there is, for example, also CG Trader, where you can find 3D meshes. And we will use this one. It's really, really simple. And for us, it is okay. We don't even need a texture. And this is free. So we don't have to spend on that. And we really don't care about beautiful mesh. The most important part for us is the overall shape, which is the right one in this case, and the fact that polygons are square and quite well done. Because if it will be too high poly, so too many polygons, it will be very difficult to simulate the garment on top of this. What is important for us is that there is an OBJ file included, because it is not always the case. Sometimes these meshes are coming only in Maya format or 3D Max format or ZBrush format, and we need a simple OBJ because we don't want to pass through another software to export it as OBJ. I found this one. I can also leave you the link for this mesh in case you want to try with exactly the same. But anyway, it's enough. You go on TurboSquid and look for helmet motorbike. And you have here a lot of meshes. You go for free and you choose your format as OBJ. And then you will have all helmets that are available, and this is the one we choose, and that are available, and you can use this one. Is actually, you have to check also on this because they are coming together with free ones, but they are actually not free, like you can see. And this is not the purpose of this exercise. I mean, you really don't have to pay for that because you don't need beautiful mesh. So this was our choice. We downloaded this one, and now we will import it all together with our scanned avatar into CLO3D. We want to add our scanned avatar into CLO3D. The most straightforward way would be add an avatar, but we can't do that because our scanned avatar is FBX file, while here we can import only OBJ file or another types of files that are coming from different software. So we have to import FBX, and here I have my FBX model, and here we added as an avatar. Now let's check all informations. It should be okay. Sometimes you need to invert this one, especially when it is coming from Maya, for example, that have it mismatched. In case you are importing something from DAS, you have to change it to centimeters here. I will put it to meters and check on that because I am not sure if this one shouldn't be imported with millimeters, but let's check on this. Okay. This one is okay. Now we can also cancel the textures of the avatar because we really don't need them. And this is what we have. Now, our avatar is scanned together with its hairs. We can adjust it in Blender, in Maya, in 3D Max, or in other software. But today we will add also the helmet. So we will try to cover this part with helmet and see if that may be a thing. So what we have to do is to import now OBJ and find our downloaded helmet and import it as an avatar, I believe. We can try with scene and props, because if we import it as avatar, sometimes it creates issues because we have two avatars, but let's try to import it as avatar. But in this case, we have to do it as import add, because if we just import, we will have only our helmet. So let's get back to our OBJ and let's see. Okay, we have it here. And it is really small, I assume. Yeah, it is really, really small. So we have to work on our avatar right now. We should scale it before we... So let's import that again. OBJ palette and try to put the scale meters so it should work better. Okay, it should be centimeters at this point. If you don't know and you didn't create your mesh, you will probably need to do the same I am doing till you won't find the right way. You see, this one now is a little bit too small, but what we can try to do is to scale it and to adjust it. Doing this probably will take a little bit of time. So we try to scale it, clicking here. And this is the way we make it bigger. Now we try to fit it onto our face. Make it just right. Okay, and in this way, we imported our helmet. Now, we will try to wear our garment on both avatars in the way that we can see if the hood fits well on the helmet. So, Philippa, maybe you can start. You can tell us what we will going to do with this jacket, and maybe something about this kind of projects where you need to fit the jacket with some gear.
Yeah. So often I work on garments that are for a specific end use, particularly climbing, and so it's really important to try the garments with the actual equipment. So that's something that I found. Is it possible in 3D design to be able to import a helmet and get the jacket to sit around the helmet? So that's really what this is about. And I think we're also going to make it a full zip jacket and shape the sleeves a bit more as well.
Okay, right. So let's start with that. I will remove the things, and as we can see, it is definitely not sitting right now. And probably in real life, it would be even possible to put it in this way. If we talk about stress map and strain maps, as you can see, the garment probably will be destroyed in this way. So we start from the hood. What we are going to do with this?
So first will be useful to be able to really distinguish what we're looking at. So if you could change the color of either the jacket or the helmet, so we can really see what we're looking at.
Or let's make the helmet red. So now we can distinguish it and see where is it.
So I would always start looking at the neck, like try and get the neck seam to nice flat. So if we could increase the height of the hood on all three panels, just to get the next seam sitting flat.
Okay, so let's try with this. Now we have here curve points, which are a lot. And we actually don't bleed them that much. Okay, this quantity of curve points, I believe,
Well, it's not that.
the right one here. But it also often happens when you import the patterns. It really depends on the way how you export the DXF patterns from another CAD software. I have seen it a lot of times that there is a huge difference. For example, when you export AMA or ASTM, they import completely differently. Like, for example, this pattern actually was imported like this here. So here, for example, I don't know if it wasn't initially an AI file or a PDF, because this is what often happens when you import this kind of patterns into CLO. But this is how it was imported. Like it had all seam lines, and actual pieces were internally. So what I had to do, and maybe we can show it because I don't know if everyone is aware how to handle with something like that. So you click Shift and you use this tool. You click all the lines you want, then press Enter, and that creates the outline.
Okay, which tool was that again?
Wait a second, I will show you. And then convert bonus pattern, and now you have pattern piece without the seam line. This is this tool, which is the name Trace.
Oh, Trace tool, yeah. Okay.
You can use the Trace tool to do something like this. And this is how I worked on this pattern before our registration, because as you can see, it was quite a bit of pieces, but I left them here. So in case we need them or we want to back to the previous state of the garment, these are the pieces. They are just not presenting the 3D space. I just mined them from 3D space. So getting back to what we had here, we can also cancel around a lot of points here.
It's an interesting shaped helmet as well. The like the streamlined kind of pointiness at the back. So it's just going to make it more challenging.
Yeah, I believe this is a kind of helmet that is used in cross motorbike. I think they have this long part on the back. But anyway, you can potentially import here any kind of helmet. The one I found was just a free mesh I found in internet in a service which is called TurboSuite. But there are also different 3D services where you can find free meshes. And if you need something particular, you can potentially also scan it using the same scanner you use to scan the avatar. You can go around the mesh and scan it, and then probably you would need to clean it, but also for that, there are software and services that can clean it, because it's really important that mesh is what we call in 3D low poly. That means that it doesn't have too big grid, like we call it in CLO grid. And this is the mesh density.
Okay, yeah.
If we want to, so it has to have low mesh density. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to simulate around, because it's possible that, for example, the helmet mesh density will be smaller than the garment one, and that means that they can overlap. The pieces can go inside the helmet. This is something we don't want.
Yeah.
So that's why we need low poly mesh. And also the other reason is that if the mesh has too many polygons, it becomes much bigger and much heavier for the software. So it just slows down.
Yeah. So a lot to think about, isn't there?
Yeah. It's, once you do it for the first time and you understand it, like you understand what and how mesh have to look like and what she need to have, and you understand how to import it into Flow, which is super streamlined process, you can do it with everything. Like you can import shoes, you can import cars, you can import any kind of gear you want, any kind of equipment you may need. You can import chairs to do beautiful renders with your avatar sitting right inside the Flow. There is a lot of opportunities if you are able to import some external meshes, and it is really straightforward. It's not something that takes a lot of time or requires a huge knowledge about 3D modeling.
Because using like your phone just to scan stuff in now is just amazing. And so like if a brand has set equipment that they always test a certain range of garments with, they can just scan what they have, make the mesh, and they have a library of equipment they can use for their digital fittings. So it's amazing how technology evolves.
Yeah, in fact, it's a great advantage, especially because I first thought about that. But when you asked me about finding the helmet and importing it into Claude to try to adjust the hoodie, the garment around it, I was like, yeah, but there is a lot of companies that may have this need because it's quite common. Companies are producing garments that have to perform in certain way or will be used with certain equipment.
Yeah.
So it's not that uncommon.
But yeah, so it could work for harnesses or rucksack. I'm talking what else, like maybe even like if you're a photographer, like camera bags and stuff like that. Is it anything like that you think's it's possible to scan in and create a block?
Yeah. So with bags, it's maybe a little bit less straightforward because bag is an equipment which is moving, so it probably has a kind of lace, and you put it. So I would say that with bags, what I would do is to scan the bag and then create the lace inside the cloth and attach it to the bag in the way that the lace, the belt that you have, will be simulated together with the garment, while the bag will stay as it is.
Well, the thing is, like, particularly if you've got like a rucksack and you're trying to, like, even if you're trying to work out where the best pocket placement is, if you can't open the pocket without, like, if the rucksack's in the way, then that's not the right pocket placement. So being able to test that sort of thing on a digital avatar would be amazing. I mean, I don't know, like, obviously a backpack could have the weight, so you might not be able to test the whole thing, but even just the placement is quite important.
But you know that also with weight, I don't know, I will check this for our next call, but for example, in this feature, when you import 3D trims, and in this case, I would import the backpack as a 3D trim, you can put the weight of that. Like you can say this one is 2 grams, 5 grams, 10 grams. And that makes difference, for example, with buttons. And this is something which is not connected to maybe outdoor. But let's say you have a beautiful jersey dress that has the buttons that are kind of jewelry. So they are quite heavy. And with jersey, you have to understand if it doesn't fall down, because if it is, this is not the right way, this is not the right button. So this is something you could potentially try also in 3D. You could scan the button, and then when you import it into software, you can say this one is 5 grams, which is a lot for a button. So you have to understand if it doesn't like pull the garment or whatever. And this is the same with another kind of trims that could be belt loops or something like that, especially in case of jersey, which in the elastic so can do. And also zips. So this is another great use case for something like that. Maybe we can explore it, for example, with the shirt we started to make. Maybe we can try to do something like that. We can try to put the jersey fabric on this, and then try with some heavy heavy 3D trims to understand which is the optimal way of the button or of the zipper or whatever. I think it's another very interesting.
Because also something that I don't know if it's all kind of related is what you're putting in the pockets of a jacket or whatever you're working on. So like there was one kind of photographer jacket a while ago, and obviously it needed a lot of pockets, and then what you put in the pockets was quite heavy. So then that affected the whole balance of the whole garment. So if you can kind of even test that even a little bit on in 3D, that's really helpful as well.
Yes. Let's explore all that things, because it's really interesting and it's unique, because I have never seen any tutorials about that. And at the end, I mean, you can simulate the physical properties of the garment and also of the trims in 3D. And this small thing then make from the garment something that looks great and it's easy to use, easy to wear. So it's comfortable. You can use it for the purpose it was created. While in another case, like for example with the pockets, that doesn't sit correctly, so you are not able to open them. When you have your backpack on you, you don't use this jacket anymore for this purpose. Yeah. It will stay in your closet, not used, because you know that every time when you want to take something from your pocket, you have to put down the backpack, and this is not what you want to do. Now we tried to simulate it. Yeah. Now it's really big. Good. Change its positions, but we'll need this.
It can be a bit tricky, can't it, to try and fit the around.
The reason why it was so difficult to move it is because it was on screen coordinate. That means that when you move the screen, also the gizmo changes. If you put it toward coordinate, it's always in the right direction. So it's much easier to use it, because as you can see now it's exactly in the front, and now it doesn't move. While if you have it in screen coordinate, it moves together with you moving the screen. So then it's impossible to understand where it is going. I mean, I honestly don't understand why they have this option on off-screen gizmo, but
I didn't know there was two options. Be helpful.
No, it's in fact I discovered it by case, because considering that I am using a lot of, let's call them normal 3D software. So there you have only word gizmo, or you have gizmo attached to certain point or certain surface. So that's why I discovered that gizmo is not always the same. And I then had this issue with Flaw earlier, and I was wondering how to change it. And fortunately, there is a way to change, because now you see that you can stay here and you don't have to change the position of your screen all the time to move it correctly.
Yeah.
Now the word gizmo is super cool.
Yeah. I can that's the thing. I just want to stay up.
Yeah, because I think I pulled it mad.
Because I often use pins. Would that be helpful? I'd like pin it to
because
to the front of the helmet or something.
Yeah, let's try to pin it here and then cancel this one. So yeah, and now we can try to move it normally with the hand. Okay, and we can also cancel this pin here because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so this is how our hood look like right now.
So you've imported the helmet as a mesh. So is there like a flat pattern of the helmet shape that you could kind of put underneath the flat pattern as well? Or so you can kind of trace the shape of the helmet?
Potentially, we can export then this image with UV maps and import it as pattern piece in CLO, so we can somehow trace it. And it's you, when you are doing it, to decide where you put the seams on the mesh, So you can somehow try to, to match the potential shape of the hood. This is something that can be done.
So I suppose, like, in the meantime, we could, because it's got the transparency there, we could use a 3D pen, maybe, to kind of get the better shape drawn onto the piece from the helmet on the 3D screen.
Yeah, but you mean you want to trace it on the helmet and then try to match it, or trace it on the garment?
Trace it onto the garment. So if we have the side view of the hood, we can kind of see that there's a gap where it's kind of, so we can.
Yeah, that okay.
So I mean, it's just a suggestion, maybe see if that would be a tool.
Yeah, we can try if it may work. Okay.
This is what they
And
Oh.
So we can try to match somehow like we can't try to go this and this. I mean, I would say then it should, in fact, the natural state. And then this is the part where it is.
Yeah, that's the really pointy bit, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we have again this shape here that we can try to match somehow.
So yeah, I mean, that's all. Yeah, so we could almost make it into a side piece hood.
Yeah, I would put here the stitch in this part, definitely. And then, yeah, but you say 5 piece because I would say this is 1 piece. This is the second one. And then we have this one and this one, how you would like to divide it to have them 5. You would say another here.
Oh no, I think I was getting confused with another part. Yeah, it's just 4, isn't it?
Okay, so let's try to work on what we have here with this our signs we made and see what we can take from here. So first thing, I would like to make it a little bit longer here in front.
Yeah.
So I will just make it longer here. Get on there.
Delete foreign. Then we will adjust also the face shape, but it's just to have started.
It'd be good to also get the neck closed to check that fit as well.
Yeah. So let's add another slip point here. So we can move it. If it was a little bit more in this way. And it was much more. What is it? Now it's not the good shape of the hood. It's just then we will smooth it, but just to accommodate a little bit better the shape of the helmet.
I really love working on hood panels, and actually this helmet shape is making it more interesting. So yeah,
it's
really helps. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit particular one, so it's also more fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I never had to work on a motorbike helmet or helmet compatible jacket for a motorbike, but it just shows what you can do on this sort of software.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I am completely sure that there is out there someone who is struggling with adjusting the shape for this kind of helmet.
Possibly like performance, if they're kind of theatrical motorbike people that might need costume.
Yeah.
Motorbiking.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that are doing a kind of tricks or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They make it for orange,
And try to see how it looks. I mean, it's very particular right now, I would say. And then let's try the external line.
Have you ever tried to do like a roll-away hood test on 3D design? Test how it folds into itself, or is that as void?
No, never tried it, but I am open for everything. I mean, we can discuss it and we can try it. If you have any ideas for something you have never seen in 3D, we can go for that.
Well, I know that a lot of outerwear has like a roll-away hood or something that stuffs into a pocket. Like trying that sort of thing without having to have a physical sample, could be the next step.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you've got to try it with each graded size. That,
Yeah, that then with grading, if you have some particular design, it can become a mess. Okay, we have here the let's do it in this way. Let's cancel this one. Make it right here, and now we have here another stitch, and we have difference of 7 centimeters. Yeah.
will make it
Like it. Okay, now it's fine. Let's try to simulate it and see how it looks. Right?
I think also with hood panels, I remember with a manufacturer once, they wanted the center hood slightly longer or shorter than the hood side to give it some ease. So yeah, sometimes you might want ease in the hood because it's quite round, and then trying to get a straight piece to stitch. I think that's right. Shouldn't easier. So there's
Yeah, that makes sense. We can make it slightly longer. But what I would do is to put the cut a little bit higher, because now it's like under this piece. So let's start with that. One of this. Okay, what I would say this is the right position. And now let's see how it changes. So here now, because at this point, I would say we can see if we can keep this this higher piece. So now it's the right here.
You're definitely very quick. It probably stepped me a bit longer.
Yeah,
maybe it's fast.
So let's give it, I would say something like 5%. So 10%. So yeah, so like 8 millimeters, I think it's enough piece for this piece. And and for this, I wouldn't give it more than 10. So let's make it a little bit shorter, because now it's 38 millimeters, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Lower it.
Well,
Now it's 5. Like it's a little bit more. But now it should be like good. Yeah, I would say that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. Oh, it's not perfect, but consider that we still don't have high grid size. So maybe here I would make it more flat, this part. Yeah, there is a little bit too much fabric here.
where are we?
Here.
Yeah, I think also once you flatten that bit, it'll be good to close the net to see if that affects the fit at the back as well.
Yeah, so let's start with this. Let's start with this. Stitches. We can adjust it pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you've shown that today, because I'm definitely going to be using that for changing the gizmo format.
Yeah, so I can show it even the next, like I finish and I will show it again, just to be sure that everybody knows it, because this is a game changer.
Yeah, it is.
It is like this.
Yes, well, I would.
Okay. Oh, that looks pretty good, I would say. I mean, we can, of course, fit it even better here, but
Yeah.
I am pretty happy with the result. So then in the second part of this video, we will show you how to create the flat patterns from this helmet. Call it flat pattern. We call it UV maps. And it's great that also people will understand how it's actually called in 3D. And we can import these UV maps here inside as an image. Then we can try to match it somehow to our pattern to understand which are the differences between two, and maybe adjust even better the pattern. And then we will move further with the rest of the jacket and try to make from this something that could be interesting and nice to wear for the bike. So thank you very much, Philippa, for today's session. We had a lot of interesting tips here. And see you next time.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.